Alright, greetings to everyone and welcome to today's discussion on a head injury. Yes, so the stem of the question reads, Mr. Chitwala, aged 35 years, has been involved in a road traffic accident and sustained a head injury. He is admitted to your ward in unconscious state. Yes, so that is the stem of the question. Question A, it is saying, explain the production and flow of cerebrospinal fluid. Yes, that was question A, and the marks are located were 15%. Yes, so cerebrospinal fluid, it is produced by two structures, which are the choroid plexuses and also the ependymal cells, which are located on each ventricle, of which we have the lateral ventricles, we have the third ventricle, and also have the fourth ventricle. So on each of these ventricles we find the structures called the choroid plexuses that produces cerebrospinal fluid. Yes, so the cerebrospinal fluid, basically it is produced by three processes. It is produced through three processes, which are pinocytosis, active transport, and also diffusion. Yes, so cerebrospinal fluid production, it usually starts with the lateral ventricles. Yes, so the choroid plexuses and the ependymal cells that are found on those lateral ventricles, they produce cerebrospinal fluid, which is then released into the into those lateral ventricles. Yes, from the lateral ventricles, that cerebrospinal fluid, it flows through the foramen of Monro into the third ventricle. Yes, so a foramen of Monro, it is just a structure that connects lateral ventricles with the third ventricles. Yes, so once that cerebrospinal fluid reaches the third ventricle, you find that the choroid plexuses that are found on the third ventricle, they'll add more cerebrospinal fluid to the already produced cerebrospinal fluid. Then thereafter, cerebrospinal fluid, it will flow from the third ventricle into the fourth ventricle through the structure known as the aqueduct of Sylvius, or we could call that as cerebral aqueduct. Yes, then from there, cerebrospinal fluid, it will flow to the subarachnoid space. Yes, so cerebrospinal fluid from the fourth ventricle to the subarachnoid space, it flows through three structures, which are the foramen of Luschka and also the foramen of Magendia. Yes, those are the foramens through which cerebrospinal fluid flows from the fourth ventricle into the subarachnoid space. Yes, so once it reaches the subarachnoid space, that cerebrospinal fluid, it will be absorbed through the structures known as the arachnoid villi. Yes, the arachnoid villi are the ones that absorbs cerebrospinal fluid into the venous circulation, or we could call it blood circulation. Yes, then question B. Question B, it is saying, state 5 observations you would carry out on Mr. Chitwala. State 5 observations you would carry out on Mr. Chitwala. One of the investigations that could be carried out, it is vital signs. So all the vital signs, that is temperature, pulse, respiration, and BP, needs to be carried out on Mr. Chitwala. Yes, other investigations could be, or other observations could be, we need to observe for the mental state of Mr. Chitwala through use of a Glasgow Coma scale. We need to assess for the level of consciousness. Yes, then the third observation that could be done, we need also to observe for any breathing from the nose. Yes, as Mr. Chitwala may breathe from the nose as a result of a head injury. Yes, other observation that could be made, we could also observe arterial discharge. Yes, so cerebrospinal fluid may leak through the ear as a result of that head injury. So we need to observe for that as well. Moving to question C. Question C, it was saying, identify 5 problems that Mr. Chitwala may present with during his unconscious state and use the nursing care plan to manage him. So the question was asking us about the problem that Mr. Chitwala may likely to develop or may have during his unconscious state. Yes, so one of the problem could be altered breathing pattern. This one, it comes in as a result of the affected center of breathing or center of respiration. Yes, that has occurred as a result of head injury. We could also talk of self-care deficit. Mr. Stwala is unconscious, so a number of activities may felt to be performed by Mr. Stwala. Yes. Then the third one could also talk of altered nutritional status less than the body requires. Mr. Stwala may have altered nutritional status because of the Mr. Stwala would have difficulties in feeding. Yes. Then the fourth one would also talk of risk of pressure formations. This comes in as a result of prolonged bleeding. Yes. Then the last one could also talk of a risk of aspirations. Mr. Stwala is also at risk of aspirations as a result of the condition that he's having. Yes. Question D. Question D, it is saying state 5 complications that may arise following head injury. State 5 complications that may arise following head injury. One of the complications could be meningitis, which is just the inflammation of the meninges. Yes, the membrane that covers the brain and also the spinal cord. Mr. Stwala may also have encephalitis. Yes, encephalitis, basically this is just the inflammation of the brain. So Mr. Stwala's brain may get inflamed as a result of the head injury. Yes. Then the third one could also talk of memory loss. Yes, Mr. Stwala may also have a memory loss due to alteration in the memory center. Yes. Then would also talk about paralysis may also come in. Then final but not the least could also talk of brain damage. Yes. So Mr. Stwala's brain may get damaged. Yes. So that is that on head injury. Yes. Please don't forget to share the video and also follow the page Sunday Snap RN Tutor. Yes, thank you for listening. Have a blessed evening.